Hello Barcelona family, like and subscribe to the channel to know everything about Barcelona. In this video, we are going to talk about a huge recruitment coup for Barcelona, but before that, we need to address other topics that are also very important for our beloved club. Let's move on to the first piece of news which, although it may surprise more than one at first glance, demonstrates the vision and strategic intelligence of our Barcelona and the firm hand of our new coach, Hansi Flick. The bomb that has exploded in the market is not just that Barcelona made an offer for a superstar, but that a superstar was offered to our club and the operation was blocked by Flick himself. Yes, we are talking about Kevin De Bruyne, the Belgian midfielder from Manchester City, who, after an emotional farewell to the Etihad Stadium, has been looking for a new destination in top-level European football. Although Naples is emerging as the main candidate to secure his services in the summer market, Barcelona had the opportunity, but Flick said no. Barcelona at the center of the stage, the offer of a world-class crack. Football is full of unexpected twists, and this one places us once again at the center of the global stage. With the departure of a footballer of Kevin De Bruyne's stature from Manchester City, the transfer market is in turmoil, and major clubs like ours are always attentive to the opportunities that may arise. Sources close to the player's entourage have confirmed that the Belgian midfielder was offered to our Barcelona, news that, in other circumstances, would have made us dream. A creative brain of his magnitude, with his game vision, passing ability, and flair for goals, is an asset that any team would wish to have. While there was speculation about a possible destination in Arabia or MLS for the Belgian, and even an unlikely approach from our eternal rival Liverpool, the reality is that the footballer's entourage seriously explored the option of wearing the blue and red. Imagine for a moment the possibility of having a player of his quality distributing the game at the Camp Nou, with that ball touch, that ability to break lines, and that experience in the most important matches. The mere idea already generates shivers of emotion. It is proof of the appeal that our Barcelona continues to have for the great footballers of the world, even in a period of restructuring. The desire to play at the Camp Nou, to be part of our history and our philosophy, remains a driving force for many. But this is where the figure of Hansi Flick, our new coach, and the long-term vision he has for Barcelona come into play. The information is clear. Our coach blocked the operation, and from my point of view as a Barcelona fan, this decision is absolutely favorable and demonstrates the character, vision, and determination that Flick has brought to our club. Naples, for its part, has made a strong entry into the race for De Bruyne. The club from southern Italy has set in motion an ambitious sports plan that includes high-profile signings to revitalize its squad for the 2025 season. The possible departure of a key player like their star striker would leave both an economic and sporting void that Naples is looking to fill with the arrival of a world-class figure. De Bruyne, with his experience, game vision, and goal-scoring ability, fits the profile desired by Antonio Conte to lead the new project. There is talk of a 2-year contract and a salary package similar to that of their current stars, demonstrating the club's degree of commitment to concluding the operation. Furthermore, some reports indicate that the footballer's entourage has already reviewed the formal offer and would have given their approval, to the point that De Bruyne himself is exploring residences in Naples. That Flick said no to a footballer of Kevin De Bruyne's stature, with all that he represents in world football, is not an easy decision nor one taken lightly. It means that our coach has a very clear idea of what he wants for Barcelona, the profiles of players that fit into his system, and, above all, the importance of building a cohesive, young team with a future projection. Flick is not looking for high-profile names for the sake of it. He is looking for footballers who adapt to his philosophy, the idiosyncrasy of our club, and the specific needs of the squad. Flick's decision is a sign that we are building a solid project with well-defined pillars. It is not about recruiting for the sake of recruiting, but doing so intelligently, thinking about the balance of the squad, economic sustainability, and the development of our own talents. A player of De Bruyne's age, as good as he may not fit into the long-term planning that Flick has in mind for Barcelona. Perhaps the resources that would have been invested in his recruitment, undoubtedly his salary would be very high, could be better allocated to younger players with a greater margin for growth and who could be part of the team's backbone for many years. As a passionate Barcelona fan, I applaud the courage and vision of Hansi Flick for blocking the Kevin De Bruyne operation. Although the Belgian is undoubtedly an extraordinary footballer and one of the brightest minds in current football, his age and profile may not correspond to the deep renovation and bet on youth that our Barcelona needs to consolidate a winning project in the long term. This decision demonstrates that Flick has not come to please anyone with media signings, but to build a functional, balanced team with a promising future. We need players who not only perform in the present but also have the ability to grow and adapt to the demands of elite football for many years. Our club's resources, although significant, must be managed with the utmost intelligence, investing in footballers who give us the best sporting return and adapt to our economic reality. Trust in our youth academy, in the talent we already have at home, and the bet on young profiles with a hunger for victory are the pillars on which the new Barcelona must be built. Flick's decision, although it may seem surprising to some, is proof that he has clear ideas and will not hesitate to take the reins of sports planning with the utmost firmness. It is a step forward in building a team that, with patience and good decisions, will once again dominate Europe. And now, Barcelona fans, the voice of the supporters is the one that counts, the one that must resonate strongly in every corner of the world. What do you think about Hansi Flick's decision to block the possible arrival of Kevin De Bruyne at Barcelona? Do you agree with this bet on long-term planning and the non-incorporation of big names that do not fit into the project? Do you share my opinion that this decision demonstrates the vision of our new coach? Leave me your comments, share your passion and your vision for the future of our team. Let the whole world know what the best fans on the planet think. The second piece of news concerns a very important decision in our beloved club. Prepare yourselves for news that will make the Camp Nou vibrate to its foundations and once again confirms the unwavering ambition of our Barcelona to continue strengthening the team with the best talents in the world, those who truly make a difference. The information we receive from the circles closest to the elite of English football is the kind that makes us dream big about the next magical nights in our stadium and the reconquest of Europe. Bruno Fernandes wants to wear our club's jersey, and what's even better and fills us with immense confidence is that our flamboyant coach, Hansi Flick, has given his green light, his total blessing for this operation to materialize. It's a coup of authority in the market, a clear signal that we will give our all next season and that we will settle for nothing less than excellence. Bruno Fernandes, the ardent desire of a superstar to wear blue and red, a shared dream. Manchester United is undoubtedly going through one of the most delicate, if not turbulent periods in its recent history. The painful defeat in the Europa League final against Tottenham, played at the mythical St Mamés, left the team not only without a much-desired trophy but, what is even more serious and decisive for the future of its stars, out of any European competition for the 2025-26 season. This situation has set off all the alarms at Old Trafford, causing a real earthquake at the club, and as expected, could lead to a significant exodus of talent in the next transfer market. And it is here, in the midst of this storm, that our Barcelona appears as the beacon, the dream destination for top-level figures. One of the names that worries Manchester the most and excites us, Barcelona fans at heart, is that of Bruno Fernandes, the Portuguese international, the undisputed leader of his team, the engine that propels it, and a player with an immense ability to influence all phases of the game. He hinted after the match that his continuity was not assured, although he clearly expressed his professional commitment to the club that pays him. He was also very direct, transparent, and sincere in his words, which I greatly appreciate. If the United management decides to listen to offers, he will in no way oppose a possible departure. I am ready to continue, but if the club considers it time to part ways, I will accept it. That's how football goes, said the 30-year-old playmaker, leaving the door wide open. And this door, Barcelona fans, is the one that Barcelona is ready to step through with determination, with a clear strategy, and with the conviction that Bruno Fernandes is the ideal profile for our project. That a player of Bruno Fernandes' stature, influence, leadership, and proven quality, with his vast experience at the highest level, publicly expresses his desire to change scenery and his openness to a departure is news that we must celebrate effusively. Nothing is more important for our club than having footballers who feel a genuine excitement, a deep desire to wear the jersey of our Barcelona, to be an active part of our glorious philosophy of play, and to fight for our colors at the camp. It is a true privilege to have players who choose our club over other great powers, and the Portuguese's words are a clear indicator of his desire to join our ambitious project. The prevailing instability on the Manchester United bench, where the coach has failed to meet the generated expectations, reinforces the feeling that the sports project is far from offering the guarantees that a footballer of Bruno Fernandes' ambition needs. Great footballers, those who aspire to win titles and compete for everything, immediately perceive when a project is not advancing. Bruno could say goodbye to Old Trafford sooner than expected if United decides to make a profit with its star, and Barcelona is ready to act with intelligence and speed, offering him the perfect scenario to continue shining and accumulating trophies. The arrival of Hansi Flick on the bench of our Barcelona has undoubtedly been a breath of fresh air for all of Barca, an injection of energy, and a resounding demonstration of the ambition we have to dominate Europe again. One of the most exciting pieces of news regarding this possible operation is that our flamboyant coach has given his green light, his total approval for the recruitment of Bruno Fernandes. Flick wants him expressly in his squad, considers him an irreplaceable piece. This synergy, this perfect connection between the sports management and the coach, is absolutely crucial for the success of any sports project. It demonstrates that there is a unified vision, that we are working as a team with cohesion and without fault, and that decisions are made thinking only of the collective good and the maximization of performance. Flick, with his vast experience in elite clubs like Bayern Munich and his philosophy of intense and dominant offensive play, sees Bruno Fernandes as a fundamental, almost indispensable piece for the scheme he wants to implement at Barcelona. His ability to arrive from the second line with immense power, his game vision for the final pass that breaks defenses, his shot from outside the box, and his innate leadership on the field fit perfectly like a puzzle with what our new coach is looking for in our midfield. Bruno Fernandes, with a contract in force until 2027, still has great years ahead of him at the highest level, making him a safe investment. His level remains elite, and the clubs that compete in the Champions League, the scenario where Barcelona must always fight for the title, are already very attentive to his situation. The fact that Flick, a coach of his caliber and demand, has given the green light for his incorporation is further proof that we are facing a footballer who can make a difference immediately and durably in our team. A playmaker with his arrival in the box, his flair for goals, and his ability to assist his teammates would be an invaluable asset for our attack, multiplying our offensive options. As a passionate Barcelona fan, one of those who lives every match with their throat on the verge of bursting, my opinion on this possible arrival is resolutely, absolutely, indisputably favorable. Although we know we must be cautious until it is official, the possibility that Bruno Fernandes wears the jersey of our Barcelona is the kind of recruitment that will make us take a brutal leap in quality, that will give us the excitement of competing for all titles with guarantees, and that will bring us closer once again to the much-desired Champions League, the one we want to lift again and again. The third piece of news is a huge thunderclap in the club. Prepare yourselves for news that will shake the foundations of world football and once again confirms the limitless ambition of our Barcelona. This dream that seemed unattainable, this chimera that swirled in our minds, is closer to becoming a reality than ever. Our Barcelona is not slowing down in its desire to recruit Erling Haaland, the Norwegian goal predator, and the Barcelona machine is working tirelessly to make his arrival viable. The information we receive indicates that there is already an agreement with Rafaela Pimenta, the attacker's representative, and this is simply spectacular. On their side, Manchester City has already thrown in the towel and recognizes the Norwegian's unwillingness to stay in the club. This is the recruitment that will change history and restore us to the place we deserve, at the summit of world football. The name Erling Haaland has been for us, the Barcelona fans, a mix of fantasy and desire. A striker who, with his power, flair for goals, and youth, fits perfectly into the philosophy of our Barcelona. And now, the possibility of seeing him wear blue and red is more than a rumor. It is an operation in progress with concrete steps that fill us with optimism. That our club is working tirelessly to make his arrival viable is irrefutable proof that the ambition of our management knows no limits and that we are ready to do everything to bring in the best. The fact that there is already an agreement with Rafaela Pimenta, Haaland's representative, is news that places us in a privileged position. It means that the player and his entourage have a clear preference for our Barcelona, that they see in the camp new the ideal place for the Norwegian star to continue his meteoric career and leave his mark on the history of football. This type of preliminary agreements are vital in operations of this magnitude and demonstrate the seriousness of our club's offer and the player's willingness. Haaland has expressed his desire to sign for 6 seasons with Barcelona, a long-term commitment that ensures the presence of one of the best strikers in the world for years, an investment in the future of our attack that is unparalleled. And the other big news, the one that clears the path, is that Manchester City has already thrown in the towel and recognizes that the Norwegian does not want to stay in the club. This is fundamental, Barcelona fans. When a player of Haaland's stature decides that his future is not in a team, no matter how powerful, the doors open wide. The player's will is sacred, and his desire to seek new challenges in a club like ours is an unequivocal sign that we are on the right path. His performances in the Premier League, where he has broken goal records, demonstrate that he is more than ready for the challenge of leading the attack of our Barcelona and becoming the offensive reference we so desire. We know that an operation of this magnitude is not simple and that it involves sacrifices. Barcelona will have to part with some players to make the operation viable, and this is a reality we must face with pragmatism. The names that resonate the most to lead this list of departures are 2 footballers who, although they have had their moments, have not managed to fully establish themselves or fit into the vision of the new project. We understand that decisions like parting with homegrown players or those who have cost an economic effort are painful, but they are absolutely necessary to aspire to bring in generational talent like Haaland. This is the price to pay for greatness, to reposition ourselves at the summit of world football. The arrival of Hansi Flick on the bench of our Barcelona has been a determining factor in this operation. Our new coach has given the green light for the recruitment of Haaland, and what is more important, he has already made direct contact with the Norwegian striker. This call, this personal conversation between the coach and the player, is key. It demonstrates the seriousness of the project, Flick's confidence in Haaland as his spearhead, and the ambition of both to build a winning team. Flick knows that a number 9 with Haaland's characteristics is fundamental for his playing system, for that vertical, intense football with an arrival in the box that we love so much. His ability to finish, his physical power, and his goal-scoring instinct are the perfect complement to the talent we already have in our midfield and on the wings. As a lifelong Barcelona fan who has lived and breathed the football of our club since childhood, I can only express my absolute, most resounding, and unshakable enthusiasm for Barcelona's firm intention to recruit Erling Haaland. This is the type of recruitment that will not only give us a brutal leap in quality but will also position us as the team to beat in Europe in the next decade. This is the piece we are missing to reconquer the Champions League and dominate world football. The arrival of a striker of his caliber, with his goal-scoring veracity and his ability to unbalance matches on his own, would be a fundamental boost for our attack. Imagine his power starting from midfield, his lethal finishing in the box, his intimidating presence for rival defenses. He is a footballer who has goals in his DNA but is also a tireless worker, a leader on the field, and a player who always seeks to improve. His youth and desire to sign for 6 seasons assure us a bright and successful future. The fact that Manchester City, a club with immense economic power, has thrown in the towel in retaining him and that Haaland prefers our Barcelona are factors that play completely in our favor and demonstrate the attractiveness of our club. And the blessing of Hansi Flick, with this personal conversation, is the definitive seal of quality. The sacrifices involved in the departure of some footballers are necessary and understandable. At Barcelona, we have always bet on excellence, and sometimes, to make a qualitative leap of this magnitude, we have to make difficult decisions. Selling players who are not decisive or who do not fit into the new project is an intelligent way to make the Haaland operation viable and clean up our finances. It is proof of the seriousness and pragmatism with which the club is managed. And now, Barcelona fans, the voice of the camp is the one that counts, the one that must resonate strongly in every corner of the world, from LAMINE to the last corner of the planet where there is a blue and red supporter. What do you think about our Barcelona's strong bet on the recruitment of Erling Haaland? Are you as enthusiastic as I am about the possible arrival of the Norwegian predator? Do you think he is the profile we need to give a definitive leap in quality to our attack and become dominant in Europe again? What do you think about the necessary departures to make the operation viable? Leave me your comments, share your overflowing passion, your vision for the future of our team, and show why we are the best fans on the planet. Leave your opinion in the comments.